Hi everyone. Today's topic is the attenuator. So what is meant by an attenuator? In this session we are going to study about what is an attenuator, what is an attenuation factor, and what is the compensated attenuator and the applications of this attenuator. All these things we are going to be studying in this today's session. Okay, first of all, what is the meaning of an attenuator? What is meant by an attenuator? An attenuator is a simple resistive network which reduces the amplitude of the input signal by a finite amount at the output. See here, an attenuator, it is a simple resistive network. It is a simple resistive network or a circuit which reduces the amplitude of input signal, by a finite amount, okay. Then that circuit is called as then that circuit is called as attenuator circuit, is called as attenuator circuit. It is represented like this: a simple resistive network, the circuit which consists of only resistors, the R1 and R2. This is a attenuator. This is an attenuator circuit. Here I am applying the V input and I am collecting the output across the resistor R2. Okay. So in this there will be a flow of current is I of t. Now apply KVL to attenuator circuit. Write input and output equations. If you write the input and output equations, we will get V input of t equal to R1 into I of t plus R2 into I of t. This can be written as I of t common and R1 plus R2. Make it as equation 1, which is V input of t. And from the diagram we can see that the output is collected across the resistor R2. So the V out of t equal to R2 into I of t. Make it as equation 2. So we know that output by input. So the output by input, if you want to find out the output by input, now substitute both equation 1 and equation 2. Here we will get as R2 into I of t by R1 plus R2 into I of t. And this I of t and I of t get cancels, and V out of t equal to V input of t into R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay, the V output equal to V input into, taking this V input to the other side, that is equal to R2 by R1 plus R2. Here the R2 by R1 plus R2 is called as an attenuation factor. That means from this equation we can understand that output voltage is the product of an input voltage with attenuation factor, so that it will reduces this amount of signal at the output. See here, this can also represented like this: V out of t equal to alpha into V input of t. Since the alpha equal to R2 by R1 plus R2, which is called as attenuation factor. Here the alpha is an attenuation factor. Okay, here the alpha is an attenuation factor. Okay, from this equation we can state that the output is smaller than the input voltage. That means here the output signal gets attenuated by the factor of, or by the ratio of alpha. Okay, so but this is a general one, but practically there exists a capacitance across R2 here, but in practical but in practical there exists there exists a capacitance across a resistor R2, across resistor R2 as shown below. See here how it will represent. It will represent like this: a resistor R1 and R2 resistor, and we will have a capacitor across here R2. This is the C2 R1. Here I am applying the V input voltage and I am collecting the output across R2. Okay. Here the C2 is called as a stray capacitance. It is mainly used to reduce the loading effect. That means if we connect this attenuator circuit output to another circuit as an input, there will be an effect of this loading effects. So in order to minimize that one, we use the balancing. That means first of all, see here, if here the C2 capacitance is connected, no, mainly the stray capacitance is used to reduce the loading effect. Without having of C2, if a direct resistive network is connected to another circuit as an input, there will be a loading effect. So in order to neutralize that one, there is a capacitance C2. So this C2, when this circuit is connected, this C2 is an frequency dependent, whereas R1 and R2 are frequency independent. As the C2 is a frequency dependent, it is used to change the waveform at the output, change the shape of the waveform at the output. But according to the definition of the attenuator, we know that the amplitude of the input signal is reduced by a finite amount at the output. Okay, at the output there should be a decrease in the amplitude, but it should not distort the signal, that it should not change the shape of the signal. But as as it is having a stray capacitance, because it is a frequency dependent, there will be a change or a distortion in the shape of the signal at the output. So in order to neutralize that one, or uh, neutralize that one, or to compensate that one, we used to place a capacitor C2 across R1. C1 across, we used to place a capacitor C1 across R1 in order to neutralize that one. Okay, see here. Then see here, here in order to compensate that one, we will place a capacitor C1 across resistor R1. When the stray capacitance is present across R2, that is the C2, as it is a frequency dependent, there will be a change or the distortion in the output waveform. We should not want the distortion in the output waveform, only amplitude has to be reduced. So in order to neutralize that one, we used to place a capacitor C1 across the resistor R1. Here we will give the input. Across this R2, we will collect this output. This figure is called as a compensated attenuator, which is known as a compensated attenuator. Okay, compensated attenuator. It is also called as a four-arm bridge. It is also called as a four-arm bridge, or we can also draw like this also. See here, we can also draw like this the circuit. Four-arm bridge. It is used to be the output across R2, C1 and R1. Here I am going to apply the V input. Here I am collecting the output. We can represent any in this any one of the form of this one. It is called as a four-arm bridge compensated attenuator. Okay. Now all of you understand. So what are the conditions for compensation? So this is called as a compensated attenuator. So in order to neutralize, we has to have this one. The compensated attenuator is R1 C1 equal to R2 C2. This is the compensated attenuator factor. Okay, the R1 C1 equal to R2 C2. This is the condition for the compensated attenuator. Now we have to prove this condition. So the conditions for compensation. The condition for the compensation is we have to find out the initial condition is equal to the final condition. Then we can prove the compensated attenuator function. See here, first of all, we have to find out the initial condition. The initial condition t equal to 0, here at t equal to 0, the capacitor acts as short circuit. The capacitor will act as short circuited. Hence, what will happen? The resistors also. In the above figure, we can see that at t equal to 0, the capacitors will act as a short circuited. Hence, the resistors connected across the capacitor are also short. Across capacitor also shorted. Then how the circuit will be represented? It will represented like that, like this. Only we will have the capacitor C1 and C2. It will use to charge up to maximum voltage, V input and output across CT. So we know that what is the charge across capacitor, or the capacitor equal to Q by V. We know that the capacitor C equal to Q by V. So now we have to find out the total voltage. The V input equal to V1 plus V2. Here the V1 equal to Q by C1, whereas V2 equal to Q by C2. The charge across the capacitor C1 and the Q is nothing but charge by capacitance C2. Now substitute in this formula, we get V input equal to Q by C1 plus Q by C2. Similarly, the output, V output is taken across C2. So then it is represented by Q by C2. Okay. So now equate this one. Attenuation factor. We must know the attenuation at initial conditions at t equal to 0. Okay. At attenuation at t equal to 0, we will have the V output by V input equal to Q by C2 by Q by C1 plus Q by C2. Now simplify this one. After simplifying, we will get like this. How it will get? We will get like Q by C2 by Q into C1 plus C2 by C1 and C2. Now after simplification and taking Q as common, the Q and Q will get cancels, and we will get after simplification we will get the V output by V input at initial condition. At initial condition t equal to 0, we will get V output by V input equal to C1 by C1 plus C2. Okay. Now this is the first condition, initial condition. Now we have to find out the second condition. That is the final condition, that is t equal to infinity. When t equal to infinity, see here, at t equal to infinity, the capacitor acts as an open circuit. Capacitor acts as open circuit. Then the circuit will represent like this. Circuit is represent like this. See here how it will be represented. We know the circuit like the resistor, two resistors R1 and R2. Now the capacitors are open. This is C1, C2. Okay, here we are applying V input. Now what will happen? This is equivalent to simple resistive network. Is it right? R1 and R2. Because C1 and C2 are open, there is no connection and we are collecting the output across R2. Here it is V input. So we know the function here. What is the output? The output we know that R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay. So we know that what we have know that now the condition is V1 and V2. Okay. See here from the diagram we know that V output is collected across resistor R2 into I of t. Okay. And we know that V input equal to, so now write it as V I of t equal to V input by R1 plus R2. We know from the previous attenuation factor, we know V equal to I into R, the V input equal to I into R1 plus R2. Okay. So from this we know this one. So that now V output equal to V input into R2 by R1 plus R2. Now we have to find out the final attenuation factor. The final attenuation factor or condition at t equal to infinity, V output by V input equal to R2 by R1 plus R2. For getting perfect compensation, we have to prove that the compensation, perfect compensation attenuation, that is R1 C1 equal to R2 C2. We have to prove that one. For that, for the perfect compensation, we know that the initial condition equal to, or the initial attenuation equal to final attenuation. The final attenuation means t equal to infinity, initial attenuation equal to t equal to 0. At t equal to 0, we get the output as C1 by C1 plus C2 equal to R2 by R1 plus R2. Now equate these two terms, we will get C1 into R1 plus R2 equal to R2 into C1 plus C2. So then C1 R1 plus C1 R2 equal to R2 C1 plus R2 C2. Now these two terms will get cancelled. Okay. These two terms will get cancelled. Then we will get R1 C1 equal to R2 C2. This is the perfect compensation condition. Perfect. This is the condition for perfect compensation. This is perfect compensation condition. Okay. From this, we know that when the condition of R1 C1 is equal to R2 C2, then that attenuator will work perfectly. Okay. And we know the circuit as like this. How it will be represented? The circuit will represented like this. It is a 4-arm attenuator. It is a 4-arm attenuator. This is R1, C1 and C2 and R2. And I am collecting the output across R2 V output. And I am applying the input here. If suppose, if I am apply a step input as an input, if I apply a step input as an input to this attenuator circuit, we will see the output, how it will be represented. The output waveform will be like this, V output. The output, actual output should be here, V volts. If suppose the input is V volts, output should be V volts. But attenuator, when an input signal is passed through attenuator circuit, the output amplitude has to be reduced by alpha, that is the amount of alpha factor, attenuation factor. The output will produce like this, that is alpha into V. Okay, this is 0 and time period. Okay, for example, this is a step input signal and this condition is called as perfect compensation. Perfect compensation, that is R1 C1 equal to R2 C2. Okay, this condition we can also write as, this condition we can write as R1 C1 equal to R2 C2. Here the C1 equal to R2 by R1 into C2. Here this is equal to R1 equal to Cp. Here the Cp is nothing but R2 by R1 into C2, which is called as a balanced condition. Whenever the C1, the value of this capacitor C1 is equal to the value of these three terms, that is R2 by R1 into C2. These are the fixed values. We cannot adjust. We can have to adjust this C1 only in order to compensate or balance this circuit. Whenever the C1 is equal to Cp, then it is called as a perfect compensation. The output will be produced like this. Okay, you all understanding? If suppose the case 1, if C1 is greater than Cp, if C1 is greater than Cp, then the output waveform is called as, output waveform, which is called as overcompensated attenuator, is called as overcompensated attenuator. Okay, it is called as overcompensated attenuator. Okay, how it will be represented? We can see this. It will represent like this. See here, this is the condition we know, time period, and this is the output waveform. The dotted lines indicate the actual input signal, but we will get the output as alpha into V. When C1 is greater than Cp, that is overcompensated, the output waveform is represented like this. Here the output waveform will start from here. That means this is the condition of t equal to 0 and this is the condition of t equal to infinity. Okay, this is actual input, but the output is this one, overcompensated. It is not getting exactly at alpha into V, it is overcompensated, but it is not reaching V. Okay, if suppose this is called as a overcompensated attenuation. Okay, and the second case, if C1 is less than Cp, then waveform is called as, then the output waveform is called as undercompensation, is called as undercompensation. So how it will be represented? Undercompensation. See here it will represent like this. This is the time period, this is the V output, this is the actual input, it has to be applied, and this is the actual output alpha into V. But when C1 is less than Cp, it is called as overcompensation. Then it will represented like this. See here, it will start from here. Okay, that means this term is called as t equal to 0 and this term is called as t equal to infinity. When t equal to 0 and t equal to infinity are equal, then it is called as a perfect compensation. If C1 is greater than Cp, if it is not equal, when C1 is greater than Cp, then we used to call it as overcompensated. If it is C1 is less than Cp, it is called as undercompensation. Sorry, C1 is less than Cp, it is called as undercompensation of an attenuator. Okay, what is the application of attenuator? Here we can see that the application of an attenuator is used in CRO probes. it is mainly, the attenuator circuit is mainly used in, it is mainly used in CRO probes, mainly used in CRO probes. Okay. Here the CRO probe, which is used to reduce the level of a signal such that it can perfectly display on the screen, on the CRO screen. Okay. Okay, the circuit will be resembles like this. See here, this is the basic CRO probe internal block diagram, internal diagram. Here we can see this one. This is the attenuator circuit R1C1 and R2C2, and here the C1 is variable, so I am putting as a variable C1. This is the shielded cable. When we see a CRO probe, there is a shielded cable, okay, and there is a hole, small hole for adjustable. Okay, there is a hole for adjustable, adjustable for capacitors, okay, for fitting. Okay, here to the CRO and to display on the screen from this, and it has to be signal to be display. Okay, you all understand what we are telling, that the main application of this attenuator is it is used in the CRO probe. In the CRO probe, in the internal there will be attenuator circuit which is used to reduce the level of the signal and make that signal to be display on the screen of the CRO. Okay. Uh, this shielded cable is used to connect the signal to the oscilloscope. Okay. So in this session we have discussed about the attenuator and attenuation factor, and also perfect compensation, and also the application of this attenuator. So we know that attenuator is nothing but a resistive network which is used to reduce the amplitude of the input signal at the output for a finite amount without distorting the signal. And we have seen the compensated attenuator or the perfect compensation attenuation, that is R1C1 equal to R2C2, and we also proved that one. In that we have the two conditions, one that is overcompensation and undercompensation, and also the major application of the attenuator is it is used in the CRO probe. Here you can see the CRO probe, internal circuit of a CRO probe. This is the attenuator section, and the outer is a cable, shielded cable. Okay, thank you.